everyone, welcome to Winged Papercrafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've decided to join me today. We're going to do Template Tuesday today, since it's Tuesday. And we're going to put these two templates together. So we've got our basic card template here, and our fun fold template that was it's a gift card holder that we're going to do for this one. So let's go ahead and get started with our basic card template first. So I'm going to use my directions that I have on the inside here to walk through this with you. So I've got card base that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to give it a good burnish. Got a piece of cardstock for the outside that is 5 by 3 3/4. Got a piece of cardstock for, well, actually that's not this one. That would be this one. This is our first layer here. Piece for the inside that is 4 by 5 1/4. Then this is our pattern paper, or represents our pattern paper. So this is 4.5 by 3.5, and we're gonna do some trimming on this. And then you just kind of need a scrap piece for your sentiment piece for the outside. So this is what I did on the front out here. I just used the stylish shape dies, but you could use any nesting die that you had. So we'll put those to the side for a second. We're going to take our pattern paper, or what would be our pattern paper, and we're going to take our trimmer here. I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut it on the diagonal. So I'm going to line both of the end points up here in the track of my trimmer. And I'm just going to slice this. Now when you're cutting things like this from diagonal, you want to kind of start with your blade in the middle, because if you don't, it might catch on the end and then you'd have a disaster. So always better to start in the middle. Now I'm going to take this and move it over here, and we're going to cut it again diagonally the other direction. So I'm just going to take a piece of, this is post-it tape, removable post-it tape, and I'm just going to put this on here to hold that together, and I'm going to turn it like this, and we're going to cut it this way. So I'm going to line this up. Again, I'm going to start in the middle of my piece. There we go. Now we've got our 4 pieces that we need. Now, when you go to do this with pattern paper, you want to choose a piece that you like both sides of, because basically what you do is we're going to take our cardstock and we're going to start with the top and the bottom piece. So basically this would go like this. And then if you use the same piece of paper, then you would take these and you would flip them over so that these would be the opposite side of these two. It'll look and make more sense when we go and do our Christmas cards tomorrow. But I think you get the idea. Okay, let's see if we have any glue left. We are running low. Alright, so should always start with the top here when you go to put this down. And I'm not going to push it down until I get them all lined up. So I'm just barely laying it on the cardstock there. Because basically what I want to try to do is I want to make these have an even border around all of them. And sometimes that takes a little finagling to get that, to get them positioned right. So let's see, I'm gonna move this one over just a bit there, and let's see, oh my goodness. When I did this earlier today, they all went down like a dream. And now that I have the camera turned on, they're going to give me fits. because you know that's just kind of how it is. So I'm trying to get an even border between our pieces, as well as kind of the same top to bottom. So we'll get this last piece in here. I think we need to move this just a little bit to the right. So maybe like that looks pretty good. And let's see. I'm just going to move this piece over. Okay. There we go. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so there's that piece. Now, of course, all my edges have no glue on them, so let's get the edges put down here right quick. Okay, all right, so there's our layer. It's going to go on top. So we've got our piece for the inside that you can write your directions on, just like I have done mine. Oh my goodness, I don't know if we're going to have enough glue to get through this. Might have to switch to the tape runner, but we're going to try. Okay, so there's our inside piece. And then this piece that we've built up here is going to go down on here. And we're going to center this on the front. Okay. Like that. And then this, we're going to glue our white piece down to our black piece, centered up, and this would be what you would stamp on here. And then I envision like popping this up in the middle. I'm going to put it down flat for now, but when I go to make cards, I think I'll probably put that on some dimensionals. So we'll put that centered up. Something like, it's moving around on me. Something like that. Okay, so there's our first template. Not hard. The hardest part's getting those 4 pieces lined up with the right edging around them, but not too bad. Okay, so let's do our second one here. So this one, you open this up and we'll look at our directions here. So I've got a piece of black here for our card base that is 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 2 1/2 and then at 5 1/2. So we're gonna go ahead and burnish both of our score lines there. Okay, now our piece of cardstock, let's see, what's our next one? So any neutral color, so I'm using white to represent any neutral colored cardstock. So you've got the piece that goes on the inside, which is 4 by 5 1/4. Again, you would want to stamp on this before putting it in. So we're going to put that centered up right here on this bottom piece here. Okay. And then, let's see, I've got another piece of any colored cardstock that is 2.5 by 3 3/4. 2.5 by 3 3/4. So that is this piece. And it is going to go over here because it would be something that eventually we would cut some, and you know, something to put as your focal point. So you could cut something or just a shape that you could stamp on this piece or something just to put on the outside here, which I did not put on my template card here. Next we need piece of cardstock that's the same color as your base of your cardstock. So that's going to go here on the front. And this one is 4 by 2 3/4. So that's going to hold a piece of pattern paper that is, let's see, I think this is that the one? That's not the one that goes there. Let me find the one that goes here. So this is the one that would go on here. And so this piece of pattern paper is 2.5 by 3 3/4, and that would go here. And I'm going to just give my glue up for the minute because I'm telling you, it's almost gone. So we'll just put some seal on here. And we're just going to line that up even. Okay, so that's going to be our outside piece. And then we've got, what else do we need here? Another piece of cardstock. That's this one, I think. So this one is 3 3/4 by 2. And this is another one that we're going to cut some focal points out of later on. Not tonight, but when we go to make the real one. Okay, now we've got some pieces that need to go on the front here. So, what have we got? We need, let me find the right pieces. Hopefully I cut the right pieces. Oh, here we go. I think this one goes here. So this would also be pattern paper. We might be out of seal too. We might just be in big trouble. Oh my goodness. Although I think I have maybe another seal refill. So that would go here. Okay, and then we need a piece for the inside. So let's see, we have that here. This is going to be our inside piece because we're going to fold this over to make our pocket. So let's see, this piece I think goes here. This one is 2 1/4 by 4, so that's going to go in here. Let's see if we've got, we may have to dig out our emergency tape runners. So let's see, this is going to go here. Now, as you can tell on this one, on our example card, I took a circle die from the Stylish Shapes, and you could use any die that you had to make this, like the notch in our pocket here. So that I just took, and actually I laid this out flat, and I just kind of put this over the edge of this card, and I put some of my sticky tape on here and ran this through our cut and emboss machine. So let me just do that real quick here. Now you might have to send this through twice or maybe 3 times because it's an awful thick layer, because we're trying to go through several layers of cardstock there and pattern paper, and it doesn't always cut all the way through the first time. But hey, we might have gotten lucky here. It looks like we got, this one did okay. The one I did earlier, I had to help it along because it didn't come out quite right the first time, but hey, this one worked good. So now what we would do, so that would be for our gift card to slip in there. So we're going to take some tear and tape and put our pocket down. So just kind of a piece on this side and a piece on this side. And you could make this, the cutout like this, any size you wanted. So use any die that works for you. So I'm going to give those a good burnish, and I'm going to just take our backing off here. And then we just fold this over, and now we have our pocket that our gift card will fit down in. Okay, so there's that part. Now, let's see what kind of goodies we have left over here. We've got a couple of pieces here of pattern paper that are going to be strips that go here on the edge here. So this one is 4 by 3/4 of an inch, and this one's 4 by 1/2 inch. So, let's see. I'm struggling. Okay, I think there's a little bit more glue in here. So this one we would put like right up here to the edge. And then this one right next to it. And these will be two different colors of pattern paper, so they will actually look nice butted up to each other there. So, we got that, and we've got this. What else we got here? We've got our piece for the outside, so that would go here. And these other pieces are for some embellishments or anything. I'm going to show you when we go to do the one I have. I'm going to use the Peaceful Garden. We're going to build up a cluster of die cuts out here on the outside. So these extra pieces that are in your directions are just for anything you want to put on the outside here. So for this, I'm going to take this, and I kind of lined up the edge here, the edge of this piece with the edge of the skinny 1/2 inch strip. So I made that fall right there. And so I kind of set it down here and see where it is. I know I can only put glue over here. So I'm going to just kind of hold my finger there so I know. Don't put glue past there, because we don't want to glue our card shut. So then we can just come back over here and line this right edge up here with this, the edge of that 1/2 inch strip. And that will make this center focal piece go just right where we want it to go. Okay, so just like that. So that looks pretty good. Now, I took a little piece of ribbon and just cut a bow, or tied a bow, just to go on the outside here. So we will do that quickly. And for your template card, you could use any ribbon that you have that you want to put there. So let me just get that straightened out here a little bit. Just, let's see, pull that tight, and I'll snip this off here. So I just took a glue dot, and let's see if I can find one. I felt one. Where did it go? Here it is. Nope, not there. I need to get rid of all this extra paper that's already been used up. Here we go. So we'll take this one, and we're just going to push this down right here on the edge. I'm just going to make sure that's tight, and then I'm just going to trim the ends so that they're not hanging too far off the edge of the card. Now, with this gift card holder, you could definitely do it like this, where it opens this way. You could also turn it this way. Of course, you'd want to put your bow then the other way, because right now it's upside down, but you could also have it open this way as well. So this kind of has some possibilities that you can make it your own. So there is our templates. And like I said, these other pieces will make a lot more sense when we get to Friday, when we actually make some of these. But for now, you have the directions to cut all the pieces that you're going to need. And I will show you on Friday how we're going to make these work. So, here are our 2 cards our templates that we made tonight. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and go ahead and ring that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And I will be back tomorrow with Christmas Card Corner that we're going to make out of this template right here. So I will see you all tomorrow. Have a crafty evening. Bye.